A very good morning. Welcome to FYI. For your information, guys, it's the 22nd day of August. The month is on steroids and it is running. Guys, we hope you're well. We hope you're good wherever you're joining us from, whether you are in the diaspora, in North America, where we are this morning, joining you live from South Carolina. We hope that you guys are great and well. Welcome to the broadcast. Every one of you, and those of you who will be coming back as well. Share the live, coming back to watch us, coming back to view the program. Because I just tell you, might be working, you might be not able to tune in for some reason. You'll come back and watch us. We invite you guys to share the live as well. Smash that emoji button and partner with us wherever you're joining us from. Good to see so many of you on the live this morning. Arnett Cummins, Nicola Dewsbury, their Alexis family, Richmond, Evelina Whitaker is here too. Good to have Troy Ross with us too. Mark Doris, Deborah Mitchell is here as well. Folks, a very good morning to each and every one of you from the myriad places you're joining us from. We're grateful to have all of you. Edward Rooms is joining us. He's around the corner. Edward from the Bronx, of course. Good to have you here with us, Edward. And again, all the other folks who are joining us this morning. We are delighted, we're privileged that each and every one of you are joining us. Yep. Good to have you folks on the live. You all know how we say it. Good to have you folks on the live. We're going to be endeavoring to share the live as well, to smash that emoji button as well. We got a couple places we have to send our broadcast through, but good to have you folks. What are you having for breakfast? I'm starting the morning with a cup of ginger tea. I'm at that age on stage. Who vex? Lovely cup of ginger tea, guys, and we're grateful as per normal to have you start the day with us at this end. How are you folks doing? The night is far spent. How was the night for some of you guys? Some of you guys, no doubt, coming in. Some of you are going out to work. Some of you are in between. You're at school. You're getting set to do different things during the course of the day. Ingrid Crawford, we see you there, and Debbie Apple. Debbie, we see you there as well, and Karen, is it Murray Hawker? Good to have all of you folks join us again from the various places that you guys join our broadcast from. Some of you are closer to the 592, some of you in the Caribbean, lots of you join us internationally as well. We're joining internationally too. But we have trust that you guys are great. I see Yvonne Ramasar is there, Yvonne, and all the other folks who are joining us. You're now joining our broadcast. Welcome to FYI. It's a lovely day outside. It's a lovely day outside, guys. Good to have you folks here with us. What's for breakfast? What's brewing at your end? What's cooking up at your end? Do let us know, folks. Again, just simply delighted to have you folks here. Closer to where we are, folks. The weather. It gets kind of tricky. It gets kind of dicey. But again, just simply happy to be here with you guys, to be here with good company. And we're just making sure that everything is running great. Apologies there, folks. Urban Don is here with us. Dolly Anderson is here with us as well. And again, I see Karen. Karen, good morning. A lovely cup of we born a cup this morning. A lovely cup of ginger. We got a couple of things we want to share with you folks. Gail and Out Front Parks is here. But once Out Front Parks is here, and Sheila Boyd Child and you folks, we can start the program now. Now's a good time to start. We're going to hold for a couple more folks to join us, and then we're good to go. Share the live, smash that emoji button, folks. Partner with us as well. The number of things we're covering on our front this morning, a number of things we're covering, and we just hope that you guys are centered. Us big folks, we get up early and we start settling in. Something inspirational we start the day with. I'm not going to suggest. For me, I like a little gospel somewhere in between there. I'm going to pluck out one of the messages off of Facebook, TD Jakes or someone like that, and start the day, getting in touch with the Creator, getting in touch with Father. How do you start your day? Some of you the long stuff, please. You in this bed again. You all know how we do it. Guys, we're just happy that you folks are here. Edward is here. Kyle Bino is here as well. And Arlene Daniels is here. Gil Ali Cook is here as well. And Orvin Don Cook. Isabella Butters is here too. Sabrina Doris is here too as well. And folks, I really want to encourage you to share the live, to smash that emoji button. and to partner with us as well. And that's going to be so important. We're trying to procure a drone. We want a drone to enhance some of our work when we're outside. So much activities we cover. We cover issues like that's happening at Hillfoot. We cover so much protest activity. When we were recently at where is that? When we were recently at Jetty, we wanted to give you a scale of the houses there that are going to be dismantled, but we don't have a good aerial shot. When we have protest activities, when we have rallies happening, we don't have a good sense of crowd and so on. And so we've been relying on folks to help us with drone footage, but it gets so expensive. We might as well own the drone myself. So, folks, that's the direction we're heading in as a publication, as a broadcast. And I want to invite you guys. You're going to see a special graphic later on towards that. We want to procure a very good one. And so we're going to be asking you, our viewers, to chip in on that end and help us. And as I say that, those of you who intend to partner with us on this front, we're going to have available to a link. If you have a credit card, a MasterCard, we know it's not easy to get into Cash App and all of those things, but we want to make it so much easier for you guys to contribute to our program. And we did say we're pursuing several things as we're at this end, and that's one of the things we want to make it as easy as possible for you to be able to contribute as minimal as possible to our program. We've never, well, we used to say $5 and $10 and so on, but we kind of remove that restriction and just allow people to, as you feel inspired to contribute to our program. And we don't refuse anything. We don't refuse. It could be $1, it could be $1 million. We're not going to refuse anything, but we appreciate that. We want to push in this direction to give you a better sense at different occasions where we are, what we're doing, the scale of what we're covering there too. And we found that we've had some limitations in the past. And as we've been out here scouting around, looking and see what's on offer here, we decided as we're here, this is a good direction that we could head in. We don't need to pay for shipping and all that because we're right here. You just walk from the car and buy the shop and buy the thing. So this is the direction we want to push in, and we're not going to tell you how much to give, but we're going to encourage you guys to help us in this direction. We want to get a good drone that can help us in this regard, and so we're inviting all of you, search your heart and your souls and your wallets as well. And we have one number that we use here all the time is 627-6963. That number is still available. If you have a credit card, you have a debit card, and you want to use that to help us, you can message us there, and we're going to send you a link, and it's going to be easy peasy from there. Message us on 627-6963. You have a debit card, you have a MasterCard, something like that, a credit card. You're going to be able to help us on that front. That's all we're going to say. We're going to be able to facilitate that moving forward. And we want to thank you guys, of course, for your love, your support, and your generosity as we begin our broadcast this morning. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to those of you who foot short. We said your foot short. Thanks for joining us this morning. A number of things we want to share with you guys as we head into the broadcast. Welcome again to our humble broadcast. For your information, is the many of you joining us from the various places which enable us to say we have a international morning show. Joyce Van Cooting is here with us, and Brenda Lennox and Jim Moore. Donna Joseph is here too. Donna says a terrific Tuesday morning, guys. You can tell how Donna woke up this morning. I see Ayabo waiting, Ayabo, I'm going to take that as a contribution to this drone project that we have. Ayabo has donated 50 pounds, right? We want a proper one. And it's going to cost us something about $1,700 where we are. We want a proper thing, right? When we're showing you footage and so on, must be a real thing. It's going to cost us somewhere there about $1,700. We're going to scrape and we're going to do it. $1,700 US. That's the one that we're looking at. And I see Ayabo in the comment section has just made a contribution to our broadcast. Thank you, Ayabo Congress, for that. We're gonna put that towards our drone project. So thank you, Ayabo. We're gonna take that as the first installment towards that, and we're gonna let you guys know how we are progressing on that front. We want a proper thing, right? And we found we can use it for some other purposes as well, and leverage having a quality drone as part of the equipment that we own. Folks, I don't really want to. We can show you guys. We just pick up a couple of stuff as we were coming up here and brought some of the equipment with us. But I'd love to show you what you've been able to allow us to do. But part of us not doing it is that you really want to show them boys, your capabilities, and tip your hand and tip your card to them. You really want to show them everything. But thank you, Ayabo. Thank you so much for that. Folks, a couple of the stuff we're covering this morning at our end. We're so grateful that you guys have joined us. Let's head into the morning papers. What's happening by you all? I'm so interested to hear that. Veronica Primo Rollins is here with us. Veronica, how are you doing? Good to have you on board, Veronica. I saw Isabella Butler says, thanks, Ayabo. Thank you so much. You see, Ayabo, wait, she just here. We have a challenge. We won a bridge, and she jumped in right away. I'm telling you, folks, I think by now, November coming is 3 years since we're on air. You get a sense by now, we don't squander. You see, we're not living no high life here after the funding that you guys contribute to us. Every cent goes into furthering this broadcast. And we're so privileged to have Tabitha Sarabo Haley join us every now and again as a co-host. I'm so privileged when she steps in to help my own load to be lighter this end. And sometimes you might see her alone too, hosting the program, right? Look, folks, let me tell you all something. If something happened to y'all, boy, tomorrow, that can't be the end of what we're doing here, right? So we're building something for longevity. And so little by little, you'll see other co-hosts come on board, and other people you'll see hosting the broadcast. If you come a morning and you see Tabitha by herself, you don't tune out, folks. It's still valid and credible information. You see anybody else hosting, right? Don't tune out. The thing must go forward. If we're doing something and because I'm not there, the whole thing fall down. I'm not a responsible steward at all, right? If we're building something strong, even if your boy off a day or two, right, the thing should go forward. That would be testament to something that you and I built together that lasts. That's important. I like how the British do it. You see, when a monarch dies, the king is dead, the queen is dead, long lives the queen. Just get on with it. That's the concept. Sharon is gone. Long live Sharon. Next. Who next? Right? Valid, credible information. That's the important thing. That's the important thing. June, you see, June is them she's them cantankerous people. She's them cantankerous. June said, no, we want you, Sharon. I'm just saying, folks. I'm just saying. Right? I'm just saying. We're preparing for the long haul. And I'm telling you, this thing gets very tedious at times. And when we come into September, we're bringing back our podcasts as much as we can. When we come into September, we want to get back to regular programming with all three of our programs. We just took a break with our podcast for the summer, but we're hoping to get back to that. Just morning, noon, and night, it gets a bit tiring, folks. And sometimes you need help, right? And sometimes you need help. So allow us from time to time to have someone take the seat and help us to move things forward. But we need this. We think we need a proper drone to be able to give you all sometimes the scope and the scale of what we're dealing with. We haven't been able to see in a real way what's happening at Hillford there, the amount of land we're talking about, the amount of families that are going to be affected. At Jetty, even when we were at Kinview, Mucka, those were the limitations we had. We had lots of interviews with people. We couldn't give you a size of the real estate, them boys bullying the people out of. And that's what we want to do. We've been paying for some of the footage as we go along out of pocket. But, if we do that for 10 years, we can own our own thing in that space of time. Right? So we're going to be helping the chip in too, based on what we have in hand currently. But I said we can open it up because if we are going to save our way to getting this piece of equipment for ourselves, it's going to take us a little while. And we got to run right now and not just walk and creep or walk. We got to run. And so we hope that you guys come on board and help us. And I see folks, I see we had folks who I see Simone Greaves has helped us in this regard as well. Simone has chipped in to help us with $100. You see, and because you do it on you do it on YouTube, it's right out there for everyone to see. Transparency. Look, but I'll tell you this. I see Angela Edwards too has chipped in. I see Angela has chipped in as well to help us. This looks like it's going to be a good morning on this front. But let me tell you this. YouTube just take a portion of that. YouTube just take a portion of that. So I'm going to advise you guys. Good morning, Doc. We have folks coming in. We have a doctor on staff, ready. You see, I'm going to advise you in this regard. It's going to be a smaller percentage taken if we send you a link and you're able to contribute to our program via that way. For those of you who might have a debit card or so on, it's going to be a smaller percentage. YouTube goes with a little something. And for this kind of project, we can't allow YouTube to take too much of it. So while I'm very grateful, I see Yolanda Thomas as well has made a contribution. Doc, is going to be a good morning. Somebody has made, we want to have a good drone to be able to do what we're doing. And the folks are chipping in. Somebody has donated $100, 50 pounds, $50, another $50. Doc, looks like it's going to be a good morning. The folks are responding. So thank you so much. If we want to get as much as we can out of the contributions we're making, and we don't mind, YouTube is here, they allow us, they facilitate us to broadcast like this, and we don't mind giving back something to them in that regard. But we won't give too much for this project. We can send you guys a quick link. If you guys send us a message on that you want to contribute to this drone project, send us a quick link on our usual number, 627-6963. It's still available to us. We can send you a link, and you can do that quick. So to you guys who have joined us, who are contributing, I see Simone Graves and Yolanda Thomas. I see Angela Edwards has made a contribution. Thank you so much. Of course, Ayabo, Congraves, and the other folks. Thank you so much. It's going to help us to go in that direction and pursue this project wholeheartedly. That being said, folks, as you contemplate on that, let's head into some of what we're covering internationally this morning. Well, you'll notice it's not going to be a morning if Trump is not in the news. And one of the things we want to let you know on this front, you know, Iowa is one of the first states that vote in the U.S. If you guys are real political junkies, Iowa is one of the first states that vote. Remind me if they have a straw poll. Is it the Iowa poll? Is the straw poll? Right? Those are one of the first states that vote. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead there. Right? And the folks seem to be divided this morning in terms of their support for Trump. That's one of the things we wanted to point out. They seem divided on Trump remaining as leader of the grand old party, the GOP, the Republican Party. They are very divided there. Is that a sign of something to come? Is that foreshadowing something to come? Right? That's what the pundits are saying. And a particular poll was also taken in Iowa quite recently. And it says that the folks there are very divided on whether Trump should remain as leader of the party. Again, this is, he was, according to the report, recently hit with his fourth indictment. You know, that's what's happening down there in Georgia, around the corner from where we are. And again, very divided. This is the NBC News, Des Moines Register Mediacom poll. So a number of media houses have come together to produce this poll. This is NBC News, Des Moines Register. That is an important publication there in Iowa. And then you have the Mediacom organization. Excuse me. They have banded together to produce this poll. And based on what they're seeing, the voters there saying they're divided. Should Trump go? Should Trump stay as leader of the Republican Party? That's one of the things you're looking at on that front. And we kind of picked this one early. Fastest woman. And it's not who you might have thought, you know. A lot of you have a love-hate relationship with Sha'Carri Richardson. Fastest woman in the world. Not Shelley-Ann Price, Shelley-Ann Fraser Price anymore. It's now Sha'Carri Richardson. Lots of you say she got a big mouth, but she ain't producing the goods. You have a big mouth, but not producing the goods. I saw this publication, the Washington Post, where we plucking this one from. Says her detractors have chastened her, chastised her, as a sprinter too audacious for her limited global accomplishments. But they can't see that anymore because there was a 100 meters race quite recently in Budapest, the World Championships, and Sha'Carri blew the competition, right, with a 10.65 seconds run to the finish line, our fastest race thus far, right? She edged out, right? Sharika Jackson and Shelley-Ann Fraser Price for this coveted title of fastest woman in the world. 10.65, 100 meters. I know some of you could be that. I know some of you could be that. 10.65, fastest woman alive. I know some of you got a love it relationship with Sha'Carri Richardson. We want to wish her the best. We want to wish her the very best in moving forward. You don't reign forever. I think Price was the favorite for a long time. Fastest woman alive. You don't reign forever. The great playwright Shakespeare. He said we are players on the stage for a little time, right? We all have our entrances and our exits. Yeah. That's why I'm telling you all, we want to do this for a long time. And your boy alone can't do it. Right? 3 shows per day. So we're going to be bringing in and prepping you. So when you sit here and say, hey, this dog abandoned being gone. When you see it, we're in for time. Fastest woman in the world. Yep. Sha'Carri Richardson. I know some of you wish it were different. It's one of y'all favorite folks. And while we're in sports, folks, internationally, we're still trying to recover from this one. You all remember the coach there of the Spanish team and this kiss? Well, the coach has now said he understands. He said he understands that this has distracted and in his words, tarnish the celebration of this World Cup win of the Spanish team. And this is Luis, is it Rubeles? Right? This is the coach of the Spanish team. He said he regretted that this took away so much when he laid this kiss on Jenny Hermoso. Well, he kissed his job goodbye. We're watching that because like you get a little out of hand. You get so carried away, you end up, and not just a little smooch, not just a little peck on the cheek. No, long. Like he's breachy, like he's breathing your face. When last you heard that? Long. So we're watching that. We are watching that, right? He has acknowledged that kissing this young woman, Jenny Hermoso, on the lips tarnished the celebration of the Women's World Cup victory. And I guess members of this international committee, they're watching him sideways. Of course, the Spanish team went on to beat England 1-0. Right? 1-0. You got to control yourself. You can't just go doing what you please. Remember that fella by Sambrook Market the other day? Lady passing by, she way, ain't afraid of nobody. He can pinch the lady and slap the lady behind. Didn't end too well for him. At all. So, coach, you gotta do different. Coach, you gotta behave yourself. Please and thank you. Right? You gotta behave yourself, coach. Please and thank you. Right? So we're watching that. You know what? I see some of you commenting. For those of you, let me see if I can do it while we're on here. I'm going to drop that link in, and we're going to pin it where if you want to contribute to our broadcast, you might have a debit card, a credit card, or something like that. You can do so. Right? So let me do that. as we on. I can do it from the front end here. All right, and I'm going to pin it where I can pin it. Give me a second, folks. I'm doing it from the front end. One second. I think I can do it from this end. Yep. You got to multitask in this business, you know. All right, so I'm going to pin that. Right? And you should be able to, all things being equal, follow that and be able to donate to that drone project. That is specifically for that. We want to procure it as soon as possible. As soon as possible. So thank you. I've pinned that. You're going to see it show up some other places as well. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting that on that front. But the point we were making, I was distracted here by some of the comments, is that you gotta behave yourself, right? Gotta behave yourself. Can't just carrying on, you know, like it's nobody's business. Behave yourself, please and thank you. Behave yourself, please and thank you. So you're watching that, folks. On that front, this is still being talked about. The Spanish kiss. You know, I'm always intrigued by other cultures and how they live and how they operate. You know, one thing I like to do, you go to a park, you just sit back and you just kind of think about the lives people passing through might live. You see people with their family, people by themselves, having fun and so on. And you just kind of think, I wonder what kind of life they have. You know, I'm always intrigued by the Italian, the French people, largely. And then you got the Spanish. Interesting, folks. So what we following in the region, folks? You know, Rowley said he wants to move on. The very night of the local government elections, on the 15th, I think it was, of August, after the results came in, same night, you know, results came in. He said, it's time to move on. We got a country to build and to move forward. Right? And folks have still been on this thing like, your boy, Mr. Jack Dio, every chance he got, you know them numbers from LEG? You know numbers from LEG? Who makes them in roads? Rowley said, I'm satisfied. I like that. I'm satisfied. Let me go down. We will have other LEGs. Let us go along. You know? Some people that one place. Looking back 10 years. You remember when I win that tournament? 10 years ago. Met a fellow talking about the US and back home. And he's speaking as though this experience is so fresh to him. Oh, when he lived in the US, I said, how long you come back? Man, come back home since 1970 something. You know? And he spoke of this event as though it was yesterday. 1974. He come back home to Guyana to live. He still down. Well, he used to live in the US. Folks, Rowley says satisfied. He wants to move on. Let us allow him to move on. I beg of you. Let us allow him to move on. You know? This is causing a lot of problems. We spoke about it last evening on our broadcast. The pilots, you know, they said they're not going to strike. It's a sick out. Think of all these nuances. I used to know them at the back of my hand. Did what do you call it? Trade union law. When I was doing my LLB, trade union law. And this is one of the areas we had to focus on. Let me send it up here. We had to focus on strike action. You know, I don't know how the nuances anymore. Since I put down those books, trade union law. You know, the nuances of a sick out. This is not a strike. It's a sick out. There's a difference. Colin says sick. I ain't coming today. 95 pilots call and say be sick. We ain't coming. 95 pilots. But this is causing a lot of problems. A lot of problems, as you can imagine. You had a lot of cancellations happening. They said over 60 flights. Based on some of the reporting we're picking up on, they said over 60 flights. Let me settle along here a little bit. Yeah. Over 60 flights a little more comfortable. Yeah. Over 60 flights, they said, canceled. And of course, I can imagine a lot of you hoping to travel, your whole travel schedule disrupted. I hate that. I hate that with a passion. When you get set in your mind, I'm leaving on the first, leaving on the second, and then some cancellation, something happened. I hate that. I hate flying on the whole. I love being somewhere new, I can tell you that. I love discovering new places. But see the flying thing? Meaning for that. Meaning for that. I want to go on the aircraft when I'm tired. Right? I must know that I meet when we land, buttops on the airport. Right? But that flying thing, I just want to be in somewhere new. So this has caused a lot of problems. Over 60 cancellation. I would average that's thousands of persons were left stranded somewhere because the pilots went and they sit-in or sick out rather. Not a strike. Not a strike. And this is according to the, let me capture it correctly. This is according to the Trinidad and Tobago Pilots Association. It's not a strike, they said, but a sick out. Well, Caribbean Airlines, as you know, it's owned by the Trinidadian government. Caribbean Airlines, they went to court for them. Trinidad has an industrial court. They went to court for them. The court ruled against the pilots, mandating them to return to work. And so, folks, you should see a little normalizing. Hopefully, don't know what's going to be the response of the union whether they are going to instruct their pilots to go back and fly. Right? We're watching that. But the courts yesterday, I think it was, instructed them to go back to work, instructed the union to advise the pilots to go back to work. There's an injunction. The injunction was granted. Again, this is what the government moved to do through its agents, the Caribbean Airlines Limited, took the matter to court, and there's an injunction now preventing the pilots from this sick out. Right? You can imagine some of them judges want to go from point A to B. What do you think them boys can do? No. Yeah, better go back and fly. So there is that happened too. And then the energy minister in Trinidad, he waded into the whole matter himself. Energy Minister Stuart Young, he said they're ungrateful, the pilots. He said it's an ungrateful act. Right? It's an ungrateful act. He went on to say that it really bothered him, right? That there are others who are in greater need of state resources that people want better. They want more money. It just bothered him that there are others who are in greater need of the state resources. Young said it struck him that there was a complete shutdown of the national airline by a handful, his words, a literal handful of individuals who thought that was the best way to treat not only the citizens of TNT, but a wide customer net of international travelers as well. So he was livid. He took umbrage with this sick out. This again is the energy minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Stuart Young. He said ungrateful. It's an ungrateful act. Folks, I regret if your own travel plans were disrupted in any way by this. I regret that. I'm not apologizing on behalf of them boys. But we regret that, Sharon Castro Edwards says exposed there. Orma, wave the Doris. Naomi Drucker, all the other folks joining us. Said they're ungrateful. We're watching to see how this one pans out. We're watching to see. Good folks, welcome to those of you who are now joining us. We trust that you guys are great. We trust that you guys are well. As you saw there, we're shifting paces a little bit. But good to have all of you folks on the live this morning. We can talk a little bit about what's going on in the 592, folks. There's always stuff happening. I'm so tempted to grab on this one. So tempted. Always something happening. We're tracking some of that this morning. But good to see so many of you on the live today. I see we got Beatrice, we got Vibert, we got Sharon, we got Kyle Bino, Pamela Jove is here. I see Diane is here too. We got Hollis Charles is here too. Naomi always, and Naomi is such a distraction. Naomi is such a distraction. She wondered if the banana fake or real. Eh? She wondered if it's fake or real. I ain't sharing none with you for that matter. You distract me. I ain't sharing none with you. There's some here and there's some across the counter there. So we ain't finished the set over, so we have to come wrong this one yet. You gotta finish off over. And I tell you, it's gonna finish. You happy now, Naomi? You happy? I trust you're happy. Sharon Castillo Edwards, Neon Harding. Sharon said we fed up. As soon as we come to the 592. We're fed up. I see Margaret Nelson is here as well. Margaret says, Elizabeth, please come in. Naomi distracting. Norris, good to see you there as well. Roger Norris has joined us. Good to see you, Roger. Christopher Chichester is here. Christopher said, it is real. You ain't got no fakery wrong here, no. No fakery wrong here. It is real. So, folks, we're in the 592. We're in the 592. Some of the things we're covering this morning, guys. Well, you all know where it goes from here. Some of the things we're covering this morning. The cost of living. The cost of living. Starbucks News has been doing this, bit of reporting, critical reporting on the cost of living in Guyana. The cost of living and what people are saying about the cost of living. You think it's easy? You think it's easy? But it is not. Yesterday, they published their 37th installment. I think this is published weekly. And people saying the one thing all the time, the cost of living. It ain't easy. Yesterday, the 37th installment, looking at the cost of living, of how, rather, the cost of living affecting people. Right? And I picked out Starbucks News because I don't want Waveney and Charmy and Lucy and Rihanna and June Cameron to say, oh, it's up new. Right? It's our economics people and so on. So it's the rabble rousers, Starbucks News. There's a common thread running through all of it. I'll just pluck out a couple of the responses and what person said. Right? I'll just pick out a couple of it. What person? How the cost of living affecting you? They spoke to one Zamil Ramat or Rahamat. Zamil Rahamat, 65 years old, cash crop farm. He said the cost of living is high in the country and affecting people. Everything expensive in the market, including groceries. Folks, I'm telling you, this is Starbucks News reporting on how the cost of living affecting people. You all remember that? How the cost of living affecting people. He says, hi. Everything in the market is expensive, including groceries. Right? Here's where Rahamat and I different. He said the government doing well. Right? However, the government should look into the cost of living because groceries are not cheap. I know some of you, family must be calling and say, oh, that's one piece of minute. Things wrong here, must be saying it's a hoax, it's fake news and so on. Rahamat saying the same thing. Groceries are not cheap and getting expensive every day. This is Zamil Rahamat. Getting expensive every day. Another thing, the government distributing items to help farmers, but not all farmers receive the items. Friends, family, and favorites. Bashir Khan. He said most of the basic food items, this is Starbucks News reporting yesterday, most of the basic food items gone up in the market. And this is affecting me a lot since my salary is low. Bashir Khan says, even transportation costs high. I'm paying $300 from Lesbian Holden to Adventure Village. This is SDK, if I'm not mistaken. Before I used to pay $100. He's paying $300 now. I think the government should increase people's salary. That's what Bashir Khan says. I think the government should increase people's salary. Folks, again, this is not New Nation from the PNCR. This is not the key from AFC. This is Starbuck News. Middle of the road. Right in the middle. Good journalism. That's what he said. Shivani Dindayal. Right? Shivani's 20 years old and is listed as a housewife. 20 years old. Yes, she says. The cost of living is affecting me when purchasing basic food items for my family. Right? My family of 2. But there's nothing we can do about it. Yes, the cost of living affecting me. Nothing we can do about it. Shivani says a bag of rice now costs $3,400 for a half sack. A half sack of rice is $3,400. Before, it was $2,300 and $2,200 for half sack brown rice. That's what Shivani said. Shivani Dindayal. Is that what you're feeling in the marketplace when you go out in the 592? She said from a $2,300 bag half sack of rice, it's now $3,400. Yes, she said, the cost of living affected me. Because when I purchase any basic food items for my family, you see, price is high. I'll take one more. One of the comments in Starbuck News. In this regard, right? This is Kamleshwar Desindhu or Desindhu. Kamleshwar Desindhu. He works for the NDC. He works for Neighborhood Democratic Councils. 43. He's a contemporary, right? Kamleshwar Desindhu. He said, I can't even buy a month's grocery for my home since my salary is low. Folks, remember high income? Ghana is now slated as a high income country. Remember all the thing about that? Oh, they love that. They feel it's because they now come in power. Suddenly, the IDB, the World Bank, whoever likes them. Oh, y'all take high income country now. Kamleshwar Desindhu says, I can't even buy a month's grocery. Told Starbuck News this. I can't buy a month's grocery for my home since my salary is low. And food items are expensive in the market. Hear what he says next? That's stunning to me. Let's sip my tea for that. Where the old throat. Kamleshwar Desindhu. He says, for the past 2 or 3 years, the salary hasn't risen for local government staff. This is Kamleshwar's comment. For the past 2 to 3 years, the salary for local government staff has not risen. But other salaries rising. He said, I'm a worker attached to the Community Infrastructural Improvement Program. SIP. He's a SIP worker. It's hard to maintain my family of 5 persons, including 3 children and wife, with a net salary of $65,000, 300 plus US. He said it's hard. Right? He said he had to go and take another job to help support his family because basic food items are expensive. That is Kamleshwar, working for the SIP program attached to an NDC. He said salary raise in 2 to 3 years. In this high income salary, in this high income country, all of the billions. Annette Cummins, Mark Doris, from oil and gas. High income country, biggest GDP. And again, I went through that. So you understand, we talk here on the program, parliamentary opposition, about the cost of living and what it's doing to people in this country. Hear the voices. Not as reported by us. Tabloid News, talking to the people. 37 publications. I can't remember, they publish weekly. And people saying the one thing over and over and over and over. And we showed you right here in our broadcast. Ashni Singh standing in the National Assembly a couple of days ago. He said the 5 billion that the opposition agreed with the government to put aside as a measure to reduce the high cost of living by implementing different projects and programs aimed to doing that, bringing down the high cost of living. Didn't spend a cent yet. And that budget, where we agreed with them to appropriate that for that specific purpose, helping to bring down the high cost of living, helping to bring down the high cost of living for people like Zamir, Rahamat, Bashir Khan, Shavani Dindayal, helping to bring down the high cost of living for people like Kamleshwar, Dia Sindhu. That budget haven't spent a cent yet. That budget was passed in February. How can they come and say that they care if all of these months later, right, they have not spent a cent, according to them, in that direction to bring down the high cost of living? They waited for election 2025 to start doling out money. Is that what this is about? So people could suffer and die in the meantime? And who dead, badly wounded? Until they decide they can do something to help to bring down this high cost of living? You know that this thing affecting all of us. When you go to the shop man, hopefully, don't ask you if he's happening with AFC before you determine the price. So the price is high for some. It's all of us in this. I departed from agreeing with Rahmat in a sense, or whoever the person was, who said, the government doing well. How you can do well? And prices skyrocketing. How you can do well on crime out of control? How you can do well? And people suffering and dying for the want of a meal. In the largest growing GDP country, fastest growing economy in the world. How you can do well? How? So, let us agree to differ on that. And we can be following some more of these. And folks, what I give you there is just a smattering of the comments in that piece by Tabloid News. It's just a smattering. See? It's just a smattering of the comments. And I like that they pull these comments from various parts of the country. And everybody, in different ways, singing the same tune. Cost of living is high. Everybody singing the same tune. Cost of living is high. Yep. Cost of living is high. I very good news. We told you all, if there's good news out there, we're going to find it. And we're going to try to share it with you all. If there's good news. Gentleman returned from living in Trinidad after 10 years. See? Sophia. Lived and worked in Trinidad for 10 years. He come home now. For a little period of rest and relaxation. He went around the corner by his house. Went around the corner for a wedding. Walking back now. See? Them boys pounced on him. Now, our brother lived and worked in Trinidad, but they got a lot of crime. See? He wasn't touched by all of that, you know. Never affected him. 10 years he spent there. He ain't home 10 years yet. Walking in his own community. Them boys pounced on him. He was stabbed several times and left for dead. He said somewhere along the line, somebody performed mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on him. Not the Spanish case. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on him. Right? This is Sean Garraway. And he said he's very, very grateful because that simple act saved his life. He credits it to divine intervention, but God. Divine intervention. This was on June 18th. This horrible episode happened. Could you imagine that? You live for 10 years in Trinidad. Good. Soon as you land back, tragedy strikes. Again, this is why I disagree with our boy, the government doing good. Oh, tell that to Sean Garraway, who has been stabbed several times. Sean said the thing is traumatic for him. The whole experience. He has nightmares. Sometimes he just jump out of his sleep. Traumatized. The government doing good. You know? Jerry Gavaya advice. He had a nice bud. Thoughts and prayers with Sean Garraway. And we wish him a speedy recovery. We wish him a speedy recovery. You know? And thanks to that good Samaritan who gave Sean mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. He said after that, he catch back himself a little bit. You know? So even in that dire situation, a silver lining. A silver lining. Remember we told you about this little piece of real estate between the highway there and Conversation Street, that little street there. Whatever it's called. Between the embankment and the highway. Conversation Tree Road. Contracted doing that for the longest while. Months upon months, they ain't finishing. Many people are saying they don't know what they're doing there. They don't know what they're doing there. Well, your boy Edgel said the other day, he done with them. He done with them. Making the government look bad. Right? Yesterday he said, rather than this morning's papers being reported, he said the principals of the company in Trinidad, they're coming to Guyana to see if they can salvage the relationship with the government. Right? Because you don't want to lose the contract or contracts. And that's how he's doing it. That's just my question. If the government has made a carefully studied decision that this company is in default, or because two foreigners coming in, you change your mind, say, all right, get a little chance. You see, that's the problem in this country now. Systems are working. You think if I got something in Trinidad that didn't function up to speed with what Stuart Young and Rowley and the country set as the standard, I can say I fly in and things don't change. We are not allowing systems to work. That's why you got so much chaos and confusion. Not allowing systems to work. Government saying how they're giving what's the story? They're now what do you call it? The scans they do at the hospital, GPHC, Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, the X-rays and so on. They're outsourcing it to private hospitals. But people find when they go private, they got pay. When government send them private asking for the money, but government said they're funding the state. We can talk about that later on. We can talk about that later. Systems got to work. You see? Systems got to work. If you have standards, you have standards. You can't lower your standards for some in this one Guyana and lift it up for others. It's either the company is in default, is in breach of its contract, and they're going to be penalized, or it's wild, wild west. We can't have it always. So we got to pick a struggle. Yes, us. Right? You of us, we got to pick a struggle. It's either we can have some standards of the country and move things forward, or we there no way. Folks, I don't know if South Carolina is one of the bigger states in the US of A. I don't know. I don't know. But these people, they're far away. I went to a small airport. Thank you. Recently, what they consider a small airport. Here, they got Charlotte, it's a huge airport. And then, what's the other one? Where John from? What is the area there? Asheville. This airport in Asheville here in South Carolina. Asheville, North Carolina. They say it's a small airport. Asheville would make Chetty Jagan look like nothing. Will make it look like nothing. When you drive around and you see the order in this place, you think you have some contract here going wrong for road or bridge or something. They can put life and limb above some kickback. We were going around yesterday, running some errands, and it occurred to me, every day, these folks got to wake up, and you got one mark, you got hit. Right? The lawns everywhere got certain height. Reminded me of Mitt Romney in a comment he made years ago. He lived in a town where all the trees are of the same height and so on. I understand the fellow talking about now. Everywhere you go, without exception, the grass got certain height. You see, every day you gotta wake up and hit a mark. You can't wake up one day and say, oh, the principal's flying in. We can see if we can change things for them. You got two friends who want X-ray done quick, so you put them in front of the line of 100 who waiting. Systems got to work for us. And that's no problem. We got to start initiative and cut ribbon. That's what we got for. Right? That's what we got for. Oh, they're launching this, they're launching that. Check back in a year and see how we're doing. That's why this contractor was able to do what he did. You know why? Because all we were concerned about is the project starting. But say, you see, we fixing the street, vote for me again. 8 months later, street still building. What should have taken 2-3 months? A year and a half later, the man still lashing nail. Project unfinished yet. Systems got to work. That's the trouble we have. That blackout yesterday, where so many persons were affected, systems are working. They're running saying how, oh, they're billing over this and they're billing over that and all manner of things. But the system not working. When they came and I saw a headline, I'm looking for it. Blackouts will be a thing of the past. Where? When? When? Systems got to work. When you look around and you see how others are living, I mean, even got to come tell to the US for that. When you look around the Caribbean, you see how other people are progressing. Systems are working. Right? But if systems work, some folks would never get the kind of notoriety that they have. Right? Infamy, they think they're popular. They will never have that. Right? But you gotta allow things to break down before you hear people say, I want to hear fun. Oh, let the president come, because only when he comes, systems could work. Systems gotta work for us, folks. Systems gotta work for us. That's the challenge we have. It occurred to me yesterday. The vastness from point A to B in this state could 3 hours driving. You don't end the state yet. And it's the same standard you don't get wherever you go. Our systems don't work for us. Right? You gotta be committed to a level of excellence to allow that to happen. When you bring in some cast people, how is it gonna happen? Sabbath News is reporting controversial Soku officer. He's now in charge of a whole region. The controversial should put it in. We should put it in oblited commas. And that is Sabbath News word. Controversial former Soku officer is now commander on the East Coast. Right? Superintendent Krishnadat Romana. He is the one who, when the lawyer advised your client to remain silent, he said, all right. You don't advise the client otherwise. We can deal with you. Right? And Krishnadat detained that lawyer. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? It's only when the AG intervened. Another example of the system not working. Because if Krishnadat knew what he had to do, that lawyer would not have been detained in the first instance. But the AG to have to left off what he doing for attend to that. But Krishnadat pulling his power from somewhere decided, if you don't advise your client to say X, Y, and Z, right? Instead of remaining silent, you're going to be detained right in here. And Krishnadat detained that attorney. Y'all remember that? And for his infraction, he is now in charge of region. He's now in charge of the East Coast. Right? For his flouting of law and order and decency, he got promotion. He's now commander of the East Coast. Right? Taking over from Superintendent Kali Pashram. Yeah? Because that's what we do. You see, when you misbehave, them by say, yeah, man, you got the stuff that the people be looking for. Right? He told the lawyer, if you don't advise your client otherwise, you're in trouble here today. And proceeded on that course. And for his action, question that is so. Commander of the East Coast. I wonder how many people will be detained unlawfully. The court just ruled against them, you know. That the actions were lawful. Christian that get elevation. And you want to tell me, government doing nice, man. The government is working. People busying themselves around the place. It's not working. Years ago, I learned they say acceleration is not the same as progress. I read that about 25 years ago when I was one. Acceleration is not the same as progress. You see a lot of movement, but we ain't going no place. Crime still high, cost of living still high, but we accelerating, fastest growing economy, high income. But nothing really changing. So Christian that take promotion. Commander of the East Coast. Y'all try with these, sir. And last night we examined some of the issues pertaining to this death of Melinda Fiona Newenkirk. We examined some issues. What we failed to tell you in that broadcast is that the post-mortem examination concluding she died from compression to the neck, which is in keeping with death by hanging. Folks, well, she killed herself. What were the circumstances surrounding this young lady's death? My phone had to be wiped. If nobody guilty, nobody anything, my phone had to be wiped and so on. Memory erased. Why did he say, the fellow in question, he tried to break up the relationship when text messages prove that this is the young lady who instead tried to move on with her life? But we're given these options. Friends with benefits, sex and payment immediately after. What are all these circumstances surrounding her death? The fellow said he left at one time. Video evidence seemed to suggest otherwise. What were the circumstances? A 19-year-old could just die in a country and people move on. You tell me system's working? We don't feel a sense of condemnation. A 19-year-old could just be found hanging from a door. Right? From a door. And we just go on. Is that right? Don't we have the highest suicide rate in the world? If not, we're right up there. Probably the top 10 if we don't have the highest. Right? And that seems to be the only system that's working. It's negative systems working all the time. Who killed Fiona Newkirk? What were these circumstances surrounding how she met her demise? Saw a sheet tied on her, a sheet around her neck, thrown across the door. Right? She's a fairly tall person. As our brother Nigel London pointed out in his own thing of the sort. Right? As he pointed out in that dramatization, make it make sense for us. Make it make sense for us. Who killed Melinda Fiona Newkirk? It seems as if when they got affiliation with high office, you could do anything. You're untouchable. You're untouchable. Watching some of y'all sideways. Watching some of y'all sideways with your untouchableness. Folks, that's going to do it for us. But before we go, we want to give some of you a shout out. We want to say a big happy birthday to German Adrian Europe. Happy birthday, champ. Hope it's a definitive year in your life. You continue to grow from strength to strength. Happy birthday from the entire family circle. We can take something later. The entire family circle. Jermaine Adrian Europe. The family said they love you. You're a little bad racial thing, but family's family. And they want to wish you a great day today. Folks, that's going to do it for us. I know this banana in some of y'all mind. Cecile and Jamor Marcus, Tammy Gibbs, Pamela Dover. Good to have you there as well. And Andrew Smith is here with us too. So true, Hector. Good to see you, and thanks for stopping by. All the other folks joining us this morning. Pamela and Stephen Fortune. Waveney Doris, we see you as well, Waveney. Veronica Primo Rollins, we see you. Naomi says she wants a banana. No beams. I said as soon as the program starts. No beams. No bag. That. No beams. Naomi. No beams. Brenda Moore. Dorothy David. Diane Waveney. Falika Johnson. And all the other folks. 1,500 plus of you joined us this morning on our live broadcast. Thank you so much. Facebook, you see one side, but we're seeing exactly who we're pulling in across social media from YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all the other places. LinkedIn. Thanks for joining us. Chami Gibbs, we see you there, Chami, and Edward Brooms. Good to see you, Edward, and Diane Johnson. Vesta Hardy Rajkumar is here too, and Vibert Johnson. Vibert says, nice program. Thank you so much, Vibert, for your kind words. Michelle Benny Venido. Let me see if I'm calling it right. All the other folks joining us. Respect and manners. That's our time, folks. And that's our program. Stay safe out there. Stay safe. And again, happy birthday, German Adrian Europe. Have a great day, German. Don't overdo it, though. But have a great day. Peace and power. Stay safe.